Hello and everyone, welcome to TBC News. Our top stories. Tanzania and Oman sign double taxation avoidance agreement. Dr. Selemani Jafo urges citizens to prioritize local products. Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel at TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. The government of Tanzania and the Sultanate of Oman have signed an agreement for the elimination of double taxation with respect to taxes on income and prevention of tax avoidance and evasion. The agreement has been signed in Muscat, Oman by the Minister of Finance of Tanzania, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, and the Chairman of the Oman Revenue Authority, Nasser Al-Jashmi. Nchemba says the signing of the contract is an important step in implementing President Samia Suluhu Hassan's vision on economic diplomacy, aiming at attracting more foreign investments. Dr. Nchemba insists the agreement is expected to open a new page of economic cooperation between Tanzania and Oman, with Oman keen in investment opportunities available in Tanzania due to its strategic geographic position, economic potentials, and better investment climate compared to other countries of East and Southern Africa. The Minister of Industry and Trade, Dr. Selemani Jafo, calls on Tanzanians to prioritize locally made products as the tendency helps more locally established factories to flourish due to a reliable market. Is a report by Joseph Chawale, read to you by Antonia Kiveria.
The Minister of Industry and Trade, Selemani Jafo, made the call at Kibaha Coast region during the opening of the 4th Trade and Investment Exhibition, which is being held at Maili Moja area.
Today, we have no reason to import loafing sheets because various types are now available in Tanzania. Today, tires are produced in Tanzania. In the past, we used to import tires from Spain or China, but now everything is available locally, which shows that the country is progressing. I urge Tanzanians to embrace locally made product because sometimes high-quality goods are produced here, yet people still prefer imported ones.
Jafo has said the Tanzanian government intends to see all local industries thrive, stimulating economic growth as well as creating jobs for young people. The minister has also instructed the permanent secretary of his ministry to expand the Trade and Investment Exhibition to be an annual national-level event to be held in the region. On the other hand, the regional commissioner of the Coast region, Abubakar Kunenge, says the exhibition is a manifestation of the government's intention to make Tanzania an industrial country.
Vision ya Mheshimiwa Rais kuhakikisha kwamba nchi yetu.
The vision of the president is to ensure that our country improve the environment for investment, industries and business. We as region are at the forefront of implementing this. We know there's nation's policies, but we are implementers. Honorable Minister, our region leads in industrial development and investment. So far, we have 533 industries, of which 124 are large industries, 120 are medium-sized, and the rest are small and micro industries.
The implementation of the large strategic projects by the government has contributed to a large extent to the Tanzania Revenue Authority to collect more than 12.94 trillion shillings in a 5-month period from July to November this year, whereby within the same period, the Tabora region has collected more than 19.1 billion shillings, which is equivalent to 108.7% of the goal set. Is a report by Dr. Elias, read to you by Antonia Kiveria.
Apart from improving the transport services and creating employment, the investment being made by the government in the construction of standard gauge railway and the crude oil pipeline from Hoima in Uganda and Chongoleani in Tanga region, according to the rector of the Institute of Tax Administration, ITA, Professor Isaiah Jairo, among to the projects that stimulate economic growth in the country.
It has increased the procurement of the product, as you mentioned. Iron bars, cements, machines, and other items used in transportation. Every day, we see pipes being transported, including the oil pipelines, to Uganda. We also observe a lot of cargo heading to infrastructure projects under the construction, which demonstrate the overall growth of the trade.
Professor Jairo outlines the revenue collection statistics, highlight how strategic projects contribute to the increase in the revenue collections to the larger extent.
This growth has also enabled the Tanzania Revenue Authority in Tabora to surpass its revenue correction target. Over the past 5 months, they had a target of correcting 17.6 billion shillings, but exceeded it by collecting 19.1 billion, achieving a performance rate of 108.7%.
Professor Jairo was meeting and holding talks with various businessmen and women in the education, agricultural and mining sector who have called an end of some unlawful act being displayed at times by some of the TRA staffs.
I registered for VAT in February 2023. But a TRA officer audited me and claimed I owe VAT from 2019 to 2024. He then instructed me to pay 1/3 of the amount upfront. For example, I was charged 64 million shillings.
Southern African Development Community member states are actively addressing challenges posed by increasing incidences and intensity of drought. Here is Memory Chamisa with more details.
The just ended 16th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, hosted a high-level event to mobilize political support and scale up investments for the African Great Green Wall Initiative. Organized in collaboration with the African Union Commission and the African Development Bank, the event celebrated progress and outlined strategies to enhance land restoration, drought resilience, and sustainable development across Africa. Addressing delegates, Pan-African Parliament President Chief Fortune Charumbira underscored the Great Green Wall's critical role as a cornerstone of national and regional development, highlighting its contributions to fostering stability and security across the continent.
And when we spend money on desertification, when we do the budgets, can we go to the communities themselves to make an input into the budget processes? And nowadays, you can't leave out the youth, you can't leave out the women. The women are a critical component because naturally they are the ones who suffer most when there is food insecurity, when there is no water. It is mainly women. But are we sure that in planning, in policy formulation, in implementation, even in monitoring, are we working with women?
Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Dr. Stembiso Nyoni, highlighted the widespread impact of desertification.
SADC recognizes that effective land management and sustainable development are integral to economic prosperity, food security, and environmental protection. This commitment is reflected in various protocols related to forestry, shared water courses, and energy, as well as in the regional program aimed at protecting land resources through community development in natural resource management.
The regional bloc has outlined strategies to enhance land restoration, drought resilience, and sustainable development across member states while addressing urgent funding gaps to accelerate its implementation.
Now from Zimbabwe, we are back in Dar es Salaam, whereby Confucius Institute of the University of Dar es Salaam calls on Chinese and Kiswahili teachers to capitalize on the deepened China-Tanzania ties to promote Chinese and Kiswahili language so as both countries can maximize what China-Tanzania relations can offer, especially in the business and tourism sectors. The call has been made by the Tanzanian director of the Confucius Institute, Professor Aldin Mutembe, in Dar es Salaam during a special workshop involving Chinese and Kiswahili language teachers, emphasizing the need for the Tanzanian teachers to learn from their counterparts on the new and advanced teaching methods.
Chinese and learning it well, you open gates, you open opportunities to this kind of fields. You have experts who will be going to further their studies in China. You have newcomers who are going to study in China. You have that exchange, and then also diplomatic ties. You also increase and strengthen the diplomatic ties between the two countries. We know that China is investing in Tanzania, and we would like also Tanzanians to invest in China. By so doing, you open the entrepreneurship. We know that maybe in Tanzania,
some of my colleagues and some of the Chinese colleagues already retired. They speak Swahili quite influently. I know that Swahili language is is a international or regional international language in African continent, spoken widely among 10 countries in the neighboring countries and become one of the official language in the African Union. Now the Tanzanian government, I was told that they're pushing Swahili as an official language of the United Nations. So we wish you have a good result. So it's bilateral exchanges. So all
opportunity to learn about different things. It helps us to get a wide range on how we can be capable, and it helps us to teach Chinese language, especially in schools, university, and the other places.
Teaching Chinese in Tanzania, the most important meaning is that we can enhance the communication with between the people from China and Tanzania. And then we can have more cooperation in culture and education.
46 Chinese and Kiswahili teachers are attending the workshop at the University of Dar es Salaam Confucius Institute to be trained on the new skills and knowledge on language teaching, which plays a key role in strengthening Tanzania-China relations. In other news, the Minister of Information, Culture, Arts and Sports, Professor Palamagamba Kabudi, says the government will continue to cooperate with education institutions in the country to ensure that Tanzanian culture continues to be preserved in present day, which witnesses fast advancements of science and technology. Professor Kabudi made the remarks while addressing education stakeholders from various universities inside and outside the country when they met in Morogoro region to discuss how to preserve and promote African culture for current and future generations. Here's a report by Remy Asenti, read to you by Antonia Kivaria.
It is in this era that, due to the advancement of science and technology brought by the interaction of people, there have been claims that communities have started to neglect their culture.
Our values, which are a combination of our traditions and cultures, are being eroded to a certain extent because globalization has given a wide field for people, and this leads to affecting our young people who are not well inherited.
To face the challenge, the minister in charge of information, culture, arts and sports in the country expresses the government's commitment to preserve the country's culture.
The government has been cooperating with the institutions of higher education in various issues, and is ready to develop the cooperation in a wider scope for the sake of stimulating culture and strengthening the sustainability of culture.
Education stakeholders and other traditional leaders join hands to ensure that Tanzanian culture is preserved.
Our target is to ensure that the community participates well in protecting traditions and cultures.
African culture must be recognized and respected.
As the construction of the building for the Ministry of Works reaches 80% in Dodoma, the Minister for Works, Abdallah Ulega, has directed that the construction materials used have to be purchased locally. Minister Ulega issued the directive in Dodoma City while inspecting the progress of the construction of the building insisting that the main market of the products produced by local investors should be the internal market.
Kwa zile bidhaa ambazo zinaweza kupatikana hapo nyumbani.
The products that are available here at home are very good. I urge you to buy the good ones here at home for a good purpose for those who are coming to invest in the country. When they investigate, the first market is here. Then there will be a market to East Africa, Central Africa, and over the world.
Furthermore, Ulega has instructed the construction of companies to have intern programs to help the interns gain knowledge, making them assets to the nation upon their graduation from universities. Let's have a look at other stories now. The Tanzania Shipping Agencies Corporation, TASAC, has started the safety inspection exercise of water transport. TASAC has commenced the inspection with the Azam Fast Ferry passenger boats that conduct their journeys from Dar es Salaam to Zanzibar. Speaking to TBC News, one of the TASAC watercraft inspection officers, Rashid Katonga, says the inspection involves ensuring the vessels adhere to the rules and regulation for the number of passengers and cargo. Here's a story by Emmanuel Samuel, read to you by Rioba Stephen.
Towards the end of the year season, the land and water transportation are in a high demand, which makes the authority in charge of water vessels to conduct safety inspection exercise so that citizens can travel safely this festive season.
Tuko hapa katika bandari ya Azam Fast Ferry.
We are continuing with the safety inspection of passengers. Boats should load the appropriate number. We are here to check that the passengers who have been ticketed are the only ones allowed to enter the boat.
Some passengers who use the water vessels regularly have various opinions on the inspection exercise.
Hata katika shirika linavyofanya hivi liweze kuweka vigezo. There should be strategies that will help to enhance safety of passengers. I believe that after these inspections, there are many things that will be identified for the sake of rescue and the challenges related to vessels accidents.
This audit exercise should be continuous. Inspection of vessels helps to determine the quality and defects of the respective transport vessels.
This inspection has gone hand in hand with the special training for the ship captains, who are key people for the maritime efforts.
Now, before we wind up local news, let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. Now let's have a look at international news as compiled and read to you by Lulua Mohammed.
A 15-year-old girl opened fire in a Wisconsin school classroom on Monday, fatally shooting fellow students and teachers and wounding 6 other people before killing herself with a handgun. The shooting took place in a mixed-grade study hall at the Abundance Life Christian School, which has 420 students from pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. A second-grade student who would generally be 7 or 8 years old called to report the shooting at the school. The 2 shot dead were a teenage student and a teacher. 2 wounded students were in critical condition with life-threatening injuries, while another teacher and 3 other students were wounded and expected to survive. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake has hit near Port Vila, Vanuatu. Footage posted on social media showed barcode windows and collapsed concrete pillars on a building hosting foreign embassies in Port Vila, including those of the United States, France, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. There were no initial reports of injuries or deaths. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has lost a confidence vote in Parliament, triggering snap elections 7 months ahead of schedule. The vote on Monday came after Scholz's fragile coalition collapsed, sparking a political crisis in the European Union's largest economy. Scholz won the support of 207 lawmakers in the 733-seat lower house, while 394 members voted against him and 116 abstained. The elections for a new parliament will take place on February 23, 2025. The governing coalition, which had consisted of 3 political parties, was shaken when Scholz fired Finance Minister in November 2024. And Israel has announced to shut down its embassy in the Republic of Ireland, accusing the government in Dublin of pursuing anti-Israel policies. Dublin has strongly opposed the war on Gaza and recognized the state of Palestine. However, Irish government has rejected Israel's accusations and said that it stands for human rights and international law.
That was international news. Sports news up next. In sports news, Simba Sports Club head coach Fanlu Davids says they will start playing entertaining football against the rivals Ken Gold in the Tanzania Premier League match as a culture of the club at KMC Complex Stadium tomorrow. On the other hand, Ken Gold's assistant coach Omari Kapirima says they are determined to surprise Simba in the match.
We are well prepared. We know it's going to take a mindset shift for what's to come, and a lot of no space or no time between matches. So we have to be well prepared to be able to utilize the entire squad for these matches.
Simba Sports Club has collected 28 points after 11 matches and sits in third place of the Tanzania Premier League, while their opponent Ken Gold are at the bottom of the table with 6 points after 14 matches played. And that was sports news. Before we wind up the news bulletin for tonight, let's have a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello dear viewers, and thank you for joining us for the next 24 weather forecast. By starting with windy patterns, and for tomorrow we expect the light wind of 20 km per hour for the entire water bodies, and the state of the sea is expected to be slight. And for tonight we expect areas around Victoria Basin to feature particular condition, thunderstorms for a few areas, where for the western part of the country, together with Rukwa region, are expected to feature particular condition, thunder showers over a few areas. While for the Mbeya, Iringa, Njombe, southern region, together with the entire coast, are expected to feature particular condition, rain showers over a few areas. While for northeastern highland, together with the central part of the country, are expected to feature particular condition, light rain showers over a few areas. And for tomorrow, we expect areas around Victoria Basin to feature particular condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. While for the western part of the country, Rukwa together with Songwe regions are expected to feature cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun intervals. While for the Rindi together with Mtwara regions are expected to feature particular condition, rain showers over some areas, and sun periods. While for the central part of the country, northern coast, Mbeya, Iringa, Njombe are expected to feature particular condition, rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. While for northeastern highland together with southern regions are expected to feature particular condition, light rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Let us see next 4 days forecast from different cities and regions. Dar es Salaam maximum temperature 33 degrees. Dodoma maximum temperature 31 degrees. Mbeya rain showers are expected and maximum temperature is 26 degrees. Mwanza thunder showers are expected and maximum temperature is 29 degrees. Kilimanjaro thunder showers are expected and maximum temperature is 32 degrees. Morogoro maximum temperature is 31 degrees. Arusha thunder showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 26 degrees. I'm Rebecca William from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Thank you and have a good night.
On that note, we're ending our news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I am Faitha Ngaga. Good night.
Watoto wetu tunakosea kwenye malezi ni kwa sababu tunawalisha taarifa za namna gani. Watoto wetu ubongo wao unaangalia nini, unasikiliza nini, unalishwa kitu gani. Kwa hiyo tunasema angalizo. Shirika la utangazaji TBC ni taarifa ambayo imechujwa, imeangalia umri, imeangalia utamaduni, imeangalia desturi, imeangalia mila. Kwa hiyo tafadhalini sana tunapotoa comment kwenye mitandao yetu, waambieni watu waende wakajifunze TBC. TBC ndio shirika ambalo limesaidia kuleta ukombozi wa nchi nyingi za Afrika. Nchi nyingi